My life in Amsterdam. Hello. My name is Lara. I am 9 years old. I live in Amsterdam, a beautiful city in the Netherlands, known for its winding canals, tall, narrow houses, and friendly people. I will tell you all about my life here. My life is full of exciting adventures, beautiful sights, and many unique experiences. Every day, I wake up early when the sun is just rising. My bedroom window faces one of Amsterdam's famous canals. I love watching the boats gently floating by and the ducks swimming in the water. Sometimes, if I am lucky, I see a heron standing still on the canal's edge, waiting for its breakfast. After a quick breakfast of bread with cheese and a glass of orange juice, I brush my teeth and prepare for school. My school bag is always packed the night before with my books, notebooks, and my favorite blue pen. I hop on my red bicycle and ride to school. Biking is the most common way to travel in Amsterdam. Almost everyone here rides a bike. Even the little kids, like my sister Emma, ride in a special seat on their parents' bikes. My school, De Kleine Wereld, means the little world, and it feels like one. We have students from many different countries. In our school, we learn English, Dutch, math, and science. We also learn about each other's cultures. We have a big world map on the wall of our classroom. Each student has a pin on their home country. My pin is in the Netherlands, of course. My favorite subject is English because I love learning new words and speaking to people from other places. Every day, we have story time, where our teacher reads to us in English. Today, she read a story about a boy who wanted to be a superhero. It was so much fun. Sometimes, we also have show and tell, where we bring something from home and talk about it. Last week, I got a wooden clog and a traditional Dutch shoe. I told my class how people used to wear them to protect their feet while working in the fields. I live with my mom, dad, and little sister Emma, who is 5 years old. My dad works in the Rijksmuseum, one of the most famous museums in the world. He takes care of all the beautiful paintings there. Sometimes, he tells us stories about the paintings, like the one about the Night Watch by Rembrandt. My mom is a teacher at another school, so she always helps me with my homework. Emma is hilarious and always makes everyone laugh. She dresses up in costumes and pretends to be a princess or superhero. We also have a small dog named Bruno. Bruno is very friendly and loves to play fetch in the park. Every evening, after dinner, we all walk along the canal. It is an excellent time to talk about our day and feed the ducks. Sometimes, the ducks come so close that I can almost touch them. My neighborhood is called Jordan, and it is lively and charming. The streets are narrow, and there are many small shops, cafes, and bakeries. I love going to the bakery called De Bakkerswinkel, which means the baker's shop. They have the best apple pie in all of Amsterdam. Every Saturday, we visit the farmers' market at the Noordermarkt Square cheese stand. which sells cheese with different flavors like herbs, chili, and even truffle. One of my favorite things about my neighborhood is the tulips. Amsterdam is famous for its tulips. The city blooms in the spring with red, yellow, and purple tulips. My mom says there are more than 1,000 different kinds of tulips in Amsterdam. Sometimes, we visit the flower market called Bloemenmarkt, which floats on the water. It is the only floating flower market in the world. Amsterdam is also famous for its art and museums. There are many museums like the Van Gogh Museum, which has many paintings by Vincent van Gogh, a renowned artist. My dad sometimes takes me there, and we look at the paintings together. I love the painting called Sunflowers. It is so bright and cheerful. There is also the Rijksmuseum, where my dad works, and the Anne Frank House, a significant place. Anne Frank was a young girl who wrote a diary during World War II. Her house is now a museum where people can learn about her story. Apart from museums, there is also an extensive library called OBA, which stands for Openbaar Bibliotheek Amsterdam. It is the city's most comprehensive library, with 7 floors. I love going there to borrow books. I always get lost among the bookshelves because there are so many books. I like reading adventure stories about pirates and explorers who travel to faraway places. I have many friends in my neighborhood. After school, we often play together. My best friend is Lucas. He lives just down the street from me. We love football and play it almost every day in the park near my house. I am the goalkeeper, and Lucas is the striker. He always tries to score, but I am a good goalkeeper and block his shots most of the time. Sometimes, we also play hide and seek in the narrow streets. The streets are perfect for hiding because they have many twists and turns. Once, I hid behind a big potted plant, and no one could find me for a long time. On weekends, we go to a giant playground called Vondal Park. It is a huge park with many trees, lakes, and birds. We climb trees, play on the swings, and sometimes even have a picnic. Vondal Park is like a giant green jungle in the middle of the city. Amsterdam is full of festivals throughout the year. My favorite is King's Day, which is a day when everyone dresses in orange to celebrate the king's birthday. The whole city has become one big party. Games, music, street performances, and many food stalls are everywhere. I always wear my orange t-shirt and paint my face with orange stripes. Seeing the canals with boats decorated with orange balloons and flags is so much fun. People dance on the boats and wave at everyone on the shore. Another festival I love is Sinterklaas. Sinterklaas is like Santa Claus, but he comes earlier, in December. We put our shoes by the fireplace, and in the morning, we find candies and small toys. My mom says we might find a potato in our boots if we are not good. It is fascinating. Besides football, I also like to skate. When the canals freeze in winter, we can skate on them. Gliding on the ice is so much fun, especially when it is smooth. Last year, I learned to do a little jump while skating. I fell a few times, but did not give up, and now I can do it without falling. I also take swimming lessons every week. Everyone in Amsterdam learns to swim because there is so much water everywhere. My swimming teacher, Mr. Jansen, is very kind but also strict. He says swimming is essential for safety. I am now learning how to dive, and it was a bit scary at first, but I am improving. There are many famous places in Amsterdam. One of the most popular places is the Anne Frank House, where many tourists learn about Anne Frank's life and see where she wrote her famous diary. It is a very moving place, and I feel sad but inspired whenever I visit. Another famous place is the Dam Square. It is the heart of Amsterdam. It is always full of people, tourists taking pictures, street performers showing their tricks, and pigeons everywhere. I love chasing the pigeons, but they fly away at the last moment. There is also the Royal Palace in Dam Square, which is very old and beautiful. Sometimes, when the king is in town, we see a lot of guards outside the palace. The food in Amsterdam is delicious. My favorite treat is stroopwafels, thin waffles with caramel syrup inside. They are best when they are warm and freshly made. I also love poffertjes, small, fluffy pancakes dusted with powdered sugar. We usually eat them on special occasions or at the market. My mom makes the best poffertjes at home. She serves them with butter and sugar, which melt in your mouth. We often eat brood kaas, a simple sandwich with Dutch cheese, for lunch. Dutch cheese is very famous. My dad likes Gouda, but I prefer Edam because it is milder. Sometimes, we also eat bitterballen, which are small, deep-fried meatballs. They are very crunchy on the outside and soft on the inside. They are usually served with mustard, a popular snack at parties. Amsterdam has 4 beautiful seasons. In spring, the city comes alive with flowers. Tulips are everywhere, and there is a unique festival where you can see all kinds of tulips in different colors and shapes. My mom and I always go to the tulip gardens, and I like taking many pictures with my camera. The days are long in summer, and it is warm enough to go to the beach. We sometimes go to the beach at Zandvoort, which is only a short train ride away. I love building sandcastles and jumping in the waves. In autumn, the leaves on the trees turn orange, red, and yellow. We like to collect the colorful leaves in the park and make leaf crowns. In winter, it gets cold, and sometimes we have snow. I make snowmen with Emma and have snowball fights with my friends when it snows. I also want to travel the world and see all the famous places, like the Eiffel Tower in Paris, the Great Wall of China, and the pyramids in Egypt. My dad says I can travel anywhere if I study hard and learn many languages. Living in Amsterdam, I have had some very unique experiences. The cat looked very comfortable, just sitting there and watching the water. Another time, a pigeon landed on my shoulder while eating a sandwich in Dam Square. I was so surprised that I almost dropped my sandwich. While Emma was feeding the ducks one day, we saw a giant swan. The swan was more significant than the ducks and swam right up to us. At first, I was a little scared because swans can be pretty intense, but this one just looked at us with curious eyes. It took some bread gently from my hand and then swam away. It was such a surprising and beautiful moment. Living in Amsterdam has taught me many important lessons. I have learned to be careful while crossing the streets. Because there are many bicycles, trams, and sometimes even cars. I have learned to be friendly and polite, as people here are very kind and always greet each other. Amsterdam is a city full of history, and I feel lucky to live here and learn from everything around me. I hope you enjoyed learning about my life in Amsterdam. It is a city full of fun, beauty, and surprises. There is always something new to see or do. Always be curious, explore new places, and never stop learning. Remember, the world is a whole of adventures just waiting for you. Thank you for reading my story. I hope it inspired you to explore the world and create your adventures. Thank you for listening to my story.